Hi, I'm Matt Schwartz and I'm the Welding Geek. If you want to see how this awesome aluminum Mando helmet was made, please watch the video. Here we are in the shop. We're going to get started. First place you want to get started is with templates. If you have good templates, you will end up, most of the time, if you're a good fabricator, with a good part. If you have bad templates, 100% of the time, you will end with a bad part. Bad templates equal bad part. I have spent hours and hours and hours drawing my templates. There is actually a step before this. I'm not going to cover that right now, maybe in the future. But I've got these templates drawn up on AutoCAD, and I print them out 1-to-1, so they are two size. So this makes life a lot easier. You have all your holes in the lines, your bend lines, and as you see us progress through this build, you'll see what everything represents. You can kind of see holes up here. Why are those holes here? Well, you'll see here in the future. So I'm gonna cut these out, get them pasted on our aluminum sheet. Can't see the holes? Yeah. We'll zoom in on the holes. Here. Can you see the holes now? See the holes? I got my boy running the camera. It's all good. We're learning, right? Cool. Let's keep it going. Alright, so I'm going to cut these out, and we'll paste them onto our aluminum and get them cut out. So let's get rolling. Everyone should get going. Alright, we've rolled through the cutting it out step. Obviously that step's pretty easy. What we're going to do next is actually use 3M, I think it's 3M 90 spray adhesive to attach this to our aluminum plate here. Alright, so we're going to relieve our parts out of this piece of aluminum. We're going to do it with this hydraulic shear, which is amazing. I know everybody doesn't have this, but my boss has been gracious enough to let me use it. Awesome shop, so we've got the best tools. So let's get these parts out of here, and once I get them, the shearing part halfway done, we actually have to move over to the bandsaw to get some of these parts out. But let's get started on that. Watch your fingers. Alright, we are going to do all the straight lines on the shear now. Alright, so we're going to cut these parts out, the rest of the parts out on the bandsaw. The curves and the outside curves. When you're cutting aluminum, you want to use wax, type of cutting wax. It's easier on the blades and it will cut the aluminum easier. A trick. I've also heard of people using, Irish Spring soap, that green soap. It doesn't work as well, but it does work. So let's get rolling. Alright, the next thing we need to do after the bandsaw is smooth out all our jaggedy lines. That bandsaw wasn't as sharp as I would like it to be, but it cut okay. I just couldn't cut as straight as I wanted to, which is fine. We'll smooth it out with an angle head sander. So let's do that. Do mine too. There. Alright, so whenever you cut on a bandsaw or really on any blade, you come up with a burr. You have a burr, a sharp burr. Even with aluminum, that could cut you. This is a fancy tool called a deburring tool. It's a kind of knife, and it just allows you to take off the burr nice and smooth. Alright, let's move on to the next step, which is going to be using a center punch to mark out all our holes. Do that right here. I've got all sorts of holes in here, especially located for attaching it to the helmet. And like I said, on the visor, punching out these corner holes, because you can't cut that with what I'm going to be using. So do that real quick here. This fancy little tool, I think it's made by, Starrett center punch. These are really handy instead of taking your center punch and a hammer, and it makes life a lot easier. This is a Roper Whitney punch. And so I have 1/8 inch holes. I'm going to use this one for my 1/8 inch holes. And then we will use the rotary index punch over there to do bigger holes. Alright, next step, we have this big and beautiful machine. It has anywhere from 2-inch holes to an 1/8 inch hole, and we're going to use this to punch out the rest of my holes. So let's do that. Next few bits, we're gonna start forming our parts. We're gonna slip roll these, and then we're also gonna put a step in it, and a back feature for the back vent on a Mando helmet. Also gonna slip roll this piece, the front piece. So let's get started doing that. So I know you can't really see it right now, but when we peel this plastic off, that's going to give this a really cool feature. I'm going to work on, put a cool little back feature in here. Just a tool that we have for doing a part on a race car. I'm just using it to do this. you get this, Jacob?
Yeah.
Alright, we're going to peel the plastic off just to kind of reveal what this looks like, because it's really hard to tell what's going on with this paper on. Alright, you can kind of see the cool detail now. I got the plastic off. I'll put this down and let Jake get the close-up if you'd like to. Alright, so we're going to start the welding process. The welder I'm using is a Miller Dynasty 300. It's an older welder, probably 20 years old, maybe a little less. I love Miller welders. I'm a Miller fan. You know, there's probably other people who like Lincoln or Hobart or whatever, but I'm a Miller guy. So this is what we're using. So let's do some welding. I'm the welding geek, right? Let's do it. So if you're not familiar with TIG welding is a welding process. We're actually going to be using what's called AC current. In TIG welding, you have a torch with an electrode, a pedal. You got that? A pedal. And you're using your free hand to add filler rod. So basically, you're using your foot to strike the arc, and the amount you push the pedal will increase the heat, which will increase the size of what they call the puddle. And once the puddle is to an adequate size, you add rod and you back off and you put, well, at least we step weld here, or you can continue on. Anyway, I'm going to try to show you that here. Hopefully the lens, I got a darkened lens put in front of the camera to actually show the welding process. So let's try to do that. Alright, so since we have a radius here, it's on a corner, and our cheek is a straight edge, we need to put a radius on that. And I used to planish it, but I figured out a way where I don't have to use a planishing hammer, and I'll show you how to do that now. This has a radius on it. And that just makes it so it's nice and smooth on the outside, and the planishing hammer makes it all flat. Or it's little divots in it, I should say, not flat. But now, we have to straighten this out. That's okay. Alright, we're going to fit these cheeks that I just radiused. We're going to grind them to fit nice and evenly to make a nice tight gap for the TIG welding. Once again, use wax if you can, or that, I always forget that name. The Irish, what is it, Jake?
It was like green Irish, I'm pretty sure.
Irish Spring, I think. Irish Spring.
Yeah.
It's the green soap. I've seen people use that. Doesn't work as good. I've tried it as the cutting wax, but the stuff could probably be pretty expensive. So let's roll it. Alright, we're going to tack weld these in place and then we'll weld them up. Alright, we're going to tack the back onto the face now. So let's get started doing that. Yay! Making helmets! Woohoo! Alright, now that we got all our fancy welds on here, we're going to dress them off. Use an angle head with 80 grit first. Using, of course, our wax. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to maintain this plane instead of digging into the metal this way and maintaining it to be flat all the way around, and then sneaking in here and trying to do that same thing, trying to make a nice straight line across here, a straightish line across here, and a nice flat line there. It's kind of hard, so let's give it a shot. Alright, now that we got the welds dressed off pretty decently, we're going to cut up the T-visor. So let's do that next. Getting close. Woo. Alright, we got thing metal finished down, sandblasted it just to give it more so you can see what's going on. Came out okay, not as good as I was wanting, but we're moving along pretty quick here to just to get this done. Alright, one of the last steps we're going to do is foam out, what I call foaming out my helmets. I make my helmets out of 063 3003 aluminum. 3003 is a little softer alloy than 6061. Makes it easier to work with, and I think they come out a little cleaner because it doesn't warp out as much as 6061. So we're just going to put a ring of foam around here to give it that depth, also around here and around here, and that should be it. So let's do it. Alright, and that is a wrap. I hope you guys enjoyed our video. I know the filming was a little rough to start. The editing is probably a little rough, and hopefully the music I put behind it all is not too annoying. It is my first video, so I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for spending the time to watch it, and we hopefully will have a bunch more to come. We already have the filming for the plates and the back plate already done, so look forward for that video coming out soon. Please subscribe and comment to help my channel out. Once I get monetized, I actually plan on giving a bunch of crap away, like Mando helmets and plates or whatever I'm making. So tell your friends and your family about my channel, and that way you guys might be able to win some cool stuff. Thanks again for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. As a side note, the shop I was working in is a place called McKinney Corp. You can actually get on the website at mckinneycorp.com to see what we build. We build race cars, but not only race cars. You can bring whatever you want to us. If you have a metal project you want built from 1 to 1,000 or whatever, and we've got a CNC mill, a CNC lathe, a CNC punch, CNC water jet, and a bunch of fantastic fabricators to build you whatever your needs are. So make sure you look them up, mckinneycorp.com. Let them know I sent you.
It's really awesome that my boss allows me to work in that shop, so I just wanted to give him a plug in there, maybe drum up some business for him. We have the best fabricators probably in the country, if not in the world. So, and that's a wrap. No, not do that.
That was